What is up, breath of fresh air? Baseball season's over and I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself. I mean, yeah, I got football, but man. Well, I'm Patrick. I'm gonna be your host today. And before we get started, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. Leave us some comments, leave us some feedback, let us know what we're doing, good, bad, ugly, don't matter. And we definitely want the conversations, so bring them. But let's jump into it. NCAA basketball. Welcome to the show. You're under the microscope. Let's get it. Well, a couple of things, man. Before you know it, I like basketball. It's not one of my favorite sports, um, but there was a couple of games since it's new. Tuesday was the start of the season, and there was a couple of games that piqued my interest. I was just kind of curious about how they were going to go, and one of the games was North Carolina and Notre Dame. Because there's a lot of talk about this kid. His name is, crap, hold on, I gotta look it up. His name is Cole Anthony. And there's a lot of talk about this kid. I mean, tons of talking like he's the next star of college basketball. He's a freshman. Okay, I get it. But the kid didn't do any. I mean, he did some spectacular stuff. He plays his first game, and this kid drops 34 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists. Drops a double-double. Pretty impressive. But it was against Notre Dame. I mean, don't get me wrong. Notre Dame is okay, but it's Notre Dame. I mean, yeah, you should be able to drop this. If you're the superstar that everybody's claiming you to be, yeah, you should drop 34 points on Notre Dame. That shouldn't be a problem. But his performance was not as impressive as the kid that plays for Kentucky, Tyrese Maxey. Now, I got my stats here because I want to make sure I tell everything right. This kid dropped 26 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist. But he did this against Michigan State. And these two games interest me, and there's one more game that I want to talk about, but these two games interest me because, everybody's talking about Cole Anthony, and I'm like, I want to say, watch out for this kid. Cole Anthony is a good kid. He's good. He's good. I'm not going to take anything away from that. He's got some talent. I mean, the kid was fast. But his performance against Notre Dame was personally not as good as Maxey's performance against Michigan State, which is a better team. Now, we're talking about rankings. We're going to talk about rankings just for a minute. Look, Michigan State's ranked number 1 right now. Kentucky's ranked number 2. They talking about how Kentucky was the underdog and how this was an upset. Okay, first of all, they're ranked 1 and 2. They're ranked 1 and 2 for a reason. Let's not go into going crazy about how this is an upset. First of all. Second of all, Michigan State has always been a better team than Notre Dame. So the performance that Maxey did, to me, was a little bit better. Maxey was fast off the dribbles. He played his pick and rolls were almost freaking perfect. Yeah, he had 1 assist, but I mean, he was being completely guarded, double teamed most of the game, and he was still able to score 26 points. I mean, I think the kid is going to be a lot better moving forward. He will have, many double-doubles and possibly even a couple of triple-doubles throughout his career with Kentucky. But to me, I thought it was a much better performance than Anthony's performance against Notre Dame. But watch out for these two kids. These two kids can play. They're crazy, scary good, and they're going to make, come March, these kids are going to they're going to learn a lot, they're going to grow a lot, and they're going to make some noise for Kentucky. um, in North Carolina. So watch out for these two kids. They can play. Um, the next game I want to talk about was another top 5 matchup would be Kansas and Duke. Now, I'll flip back and forth with this one. I mean, it was a good game, but I was just kind of curious of how the game went, and it kind of went exactly what I thought it would do. I wasn't really predicting a winner. I mean, I was kind of leaning towards Kansas at the time, but Duke played well. Duke played well, but this is what Duke does. They play well during the regular season, and then during March Madness, you don't know what you're going to get. So this is typical Duke. I'm not really putting any chips on the table for Duke right now. Honestly, I'm not putting any chips on any of these teams right now. It's way too early to tell. But I will say this: these two kids, Anthony and Maxie, watch out for these two kids. They can play, and you know, against competition that Maxie went against and did what he did, and then Anthony doing what he did against Notre Dame. Look, it's nothing short of remarkable. Don't get me wrong. Both of those kids can play. I felt Maxie was a better representation of the first week, but look, tons of growth, tons of time coming out. Let's see what these kids can do, and I'm really looking towards March Madness, man. I mean, I think it's going to be interesting because to me, I say watch out for these kids, but really nobody stands out. And I think this is one of those years, it's a typical year, one of those years that anything can happen. Anything can happen. So, man, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. It's far more interesting than the NBA because everybody's like, oh, there's the NBA and then there's LeBron James. And I'm not even going to get on that rant. Sorry for bringing him up. He does not deserve my airtime. But watch out for these two kids. They're going to make a lot of noise. Anyway, that's what I'm breathing on. If y'all would just leave some comments, feedback, let us know what you think about what's going on with college basketball, and leave those feedbacks. No matter if they're good, bad, ugly, don't matter. Drop the comments, and we'll get back with you. Other than that, have a great rest of your week, great weekend, and we'll see you next time.